Okay, it is 20 till midnight. Sorry to be able to get these video out so late. You'll be able to watch it tomorrow or today, depending on how you look at it. Basically, before I get started, since it'll be officially Monday, pretty much when I get started with this recap of NXT and Smackdown, I just want to wish my mom a happy Mother's Day. So, she has been very, very helpful and letting me stay with her again, letting me live here, and furthermore helping me with my ultimate goal of moving permanently to Orlando in 2017. And I would not be allowed to have this opportunity if my mom did not take me under her roof, and I very much appreciate that. So I just wanted to start off this video by basically saying Happy Mother's Day to my mother. So, like I said, sorry about the late time, speaking of that, and the reason why is because I had to shoot in here, and I'm trying alternate ways to do things, but I haven't really got it down yet. We got a new stand for the iPhone, so I'll be able to use that. It's weird, because I always start getting this itch in my nose, like whenever I shoot in front of this computer. It's kind of like clockwork. So, there's always that. And I do want to say that I'm working on some different ways to shoot, so hopefully some new ways to shoot in the near future. Well, basically, I worked today. It was steady. I mean, we weren't busy. We were steady all day, and concession was pretty packed, and there was people every 5 minutes. So it made the day go by slowly and fast at the same time, if that makes any sense. It didn't seem like it was ever going to end, to be totally honest. And then luckily, my mom took us out to dinner at Applebee's after work, and that was awesome, because Applebee's is amazing. So I had some leftover Applebee's to eat sometime today. And sometime today is also going to be Ben's debut here on Pop, their record store day review that, God bless, sorry about this. The record store day review that Ben sent me the other day, I'm going to post, and we're going to have delving into the world of Ben Sams, who is our resident music critic. So you'll get to know a little bit more about him. If you haven't watched his Getting to Know Ben video, then go watch it. It's on this Pop playlist, so check it out. And if you guys haven't watched them yet, if you are on the fence about The Great Gatsby or Peoples, or if you have Upstream Color or Sightseers, the limited release in your local area, then you want to find out a little bit more about all those 4 films, check out AJ's Weekend Movie Reviews. He reviews all 4 movies, and that's also on this very Pop playlist. It's actually probably up on the recent list because it was the last 2 videos that were put on the channel. Tomorrow, or should I say later today, I'll put up Ben's video. And as soon as we get this done, video done, I'll make sure it's available for everyone. So you have a lot of new content, a lot of fresh content for Pop for today. And what it looks like after talking to Will today, that Monday looks to be filming day, so we're going to get a brand new Mr. Flashback, and yes, he will be reviewing No Holds Barred. We're going to get a Will tutorial, and you never know, maybe Will and I will discuss some wrestling, so stay tuned for that. And then, like I said, after all, we're going to, if Will's here, which it sounds like he's going to be, maybe we'll shoot a video about our Raw experience, watching Raw, not just be there live, but watching Raw and our opinions on the show itself, and maybe you'll get a different kind of recap starting on Monday. So, I want to talk about something that I am now talking about on a regular basis, and it's Saturday, and that means it's time to talk NXT and Smackdown. Now, because of my schedule, and just being flat out tired, I wasn't able to watch Smackdown on Friday night. I really wanted to. I heard a lot of great things about the Daniel Bryan-Dean Ambrose match, and I'm like, duh, these two against each other, absolute gold. I don't know if Mox and Danielson face each other in the Indies. I'm pretty sure they have. I would say maybe possibly Evolve, if I had to guess. You know, honestly, I am a completist. So I am going to check this out real quick and talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you a topic. How about you guys just wait on me? How's that sound? Sounds awesome. So, yep, these guys have worked before. It's literally listed on Google. DG, yeah. Evolve. I don't know why I said Evolve. It's at Dragon Gate. And, yeah, they faced off in Dragon Gate, USA. So, and also Heartland Wrestling Association, you know, the promotion in Cincinnati ran by Les Thatcher. I mean, I did not know that either. So, they've had a series of matches, and that's pretty cool to know because these two can definitely go. And I found out they were going to face each other, and I was like, yeah, I'm totally in. But I wasn't able to watch it last night, so had some things to do. We got back from Gatsby a little bit after 7. We shot AJ's movie reviews. I uploaded AJ's movie reviews by that time, and I just started watching Tim and Jen's new videos and Noob vs. Pro, and by that time I was kind of tired, so it's kind of like I'm going to bomb out because I got to go to work in the morning at noon. I know that's not a big deal for you guys, but still, I had to go to work at noon, so I wanted to get some sleep. So basically, I didn't have time to watch last night, so I'm sorry about that. But Saturday should be the day for NXT and Smackdown. And the reason I didn't get NXT done until just now, I just found it. So Farley didn't post it on SNS Facebook. So I had to go searching for it, and I found it, and I watched it. So that's what we're going to talk about first. Now, this was a wrestling-heavy show. I mean, there was actually 5 matches on this show, and that's very strange because I'm used to there only being 3 matches on NXT, and that's pretty much saying most of these matches were very JTTS, Jobber to the Stars. A lot of ham and egger matches, just designed to get one person over. So, we open the show with Baron Corbin, who I've really never seen before. I don't know if he's someone I've heard of in the past. I mean, he might be. I mean, I'm going to look into this real quick. I'm going to make sure I'm not losing my mind. I'm going to go on our wiki, because wiki is amazing. Okay, he's nothing. Baron Corbin, as was mentioned on NXT, is a former football player. He played for the Arizona Cardinals and the Indianapolis Colts, which is Ralph's favorite team. And basically, he is about 6'8", 275, so he's built like a brick, you know what. So, I mean, obviously he's got a future in the business, but his first match in NXT wasn't against the greatest of opponents to try to make an impact, as mentioned by William Regal on commentary, and that's because he faced off against the intellectual savior of the masses, Damien Sandow. So, basically, we go through the match. Corbin tries to come back with some shoulder blocks and some rapid-fire knee strikes, but Sandow ends up nailing the California leg sweep and the Kobito Akiet, and after that, he picks up Corbin, and he basically nails what is called the silencer, which, all intents and purposes, is a Shinanamaki, which is basically the Cobra Clutch, and it is done kind of like Matt Hardy's side effect. So, really innovative maneuver, a very interesting move, actually. So that was cool. After the match is over, Sandow goes, okay, fine. You know, I'm not here to face off against future up-and-comers or people that never will be superstars. He didn't use those words, but that's what I'm paraphrasing. And he basically said that he wants Big E Langston for the NXT Championship. So he makes a formal challenge to Langston's NXT title. And of course, he ends it with, "You're welcome." So, interesting. Very interesting. Now, after the match is over, we get our second match of the evening, and that's Paige, who looks better by the day. Paige is awesome, by the way. I'm very happy to say that I've seen her work, and I'd like to see her work in person. That'd be awesome. Hopefully she'll be at Smackdown in October. I mean, there's enough time between now and then for her to end up on the Divas roster on Smackdown. It could happen. You never know. So, she's facing off against Bayley. Okay, here's my big problem with the WWE Divas division. And it's one thing that really annoys the daylights out of me. What's with the one-word names? I get Natalia, that's fine, that makes sense, okay. I get AJ, but you call her AJ Lee every once in a while, so it's fine. Just, Paige works, it just fits. But she faced off against this girl named Bayley, who looked like, she'd be somebody that worked for Shimmer, or maybe has worked for Shimmer, I'm not exactly sure, because, basically this person really, didn't have much going for her. I've never heard of this person before. And, I mean, she's attractive, and she's decent in the ring. It's just, I mean, you don't really have an identity if you have one name. I mean, everybody's cookie cutter. Like I said, I keep bringing up this fact every single week. Sarah Del Rey is your trainer for your Divas division. Utilize her. Use her. Put her under a mask. Let her do her thing. But, I mean, you're not going to develop an identity for anybody that you're trying to bring up from NXT except for Paige, except for Summer Rae, if you don't differentiate exactly who's one and who's the other. I mean, her name's Bayley, okay? That's all we know about her. So, this match was basically a squash. We see a hair Beal midway through the match, as usual. She's screaming, very Daphne-esque. And hits rapid-fire knee strikes while Bayley's tied up in the ropes. Bayley charges, and Paige ends up nailing the Paige Turner and just lays her out. So after the match is over, of course, Summer Rae jumps her from behind, and she gets the last laugh. So this feud is going to continue, and that's awesome because I don't mind these two against each other. It works pretty well for me. So Biggie Langston's backstage with a WWE interviewer, and Damien Sandow basically appears to make the formal challenge to Langston's face. Biggie says, okay, Damien, I'll let you get this title match if you answer me a question. I want you to pick a number. Sandow chooses 6. Add the next number to it, gets us 13. Now this is where you guys know I can't do math, but I get up again. So basically this is kind of a messed up way to get to one thing. Subtract and divide the numbers, and of course you have to build to Langston's big deal in NXT, which is 5, which he stole the King Kong Bundy 5 count. And they start chanting 5 and 5 and 5. So we get another match after this. And this match is basically just to set up a run-in, but it was going good for what it was. We see Sakamoto, who it's nice to see he's away from Tensai, and he is facing off against Bradley Pierce, which, if you guys don't know, he is Dolph Ziggler's brother. And you could definitely tell. I mean, he did this headstand and everything. I mean, his voice is very, very similar. The hair is pretty iconically there. So, basically, he hits a side headlock, shoulder block, hits the ropes, nice hip lock off the ropes. Pierce comes back with another hip lock, and then all of a sudden, lights dim, very ominous music plays, and here comes Connor O'Brien down, making his return to NXT for the first time since his tag team partner pretty much got fired from WWE because of the wellness policy. And he's a one-man ascension right now, and I like this, but he comes in, and he just, decimates both Pierce and Sakamoto with shoulder blocks, and then nails flapjacks on both men, and then even flapjack Sakamoto on a Bradley Pierce. He stands over them. I am happy that he's back. But, okay, here's the thing. You're going to build this monster. He's got a goatee. He's got tattoos. He looks intense as all get out. What is the least intimidating name WWE could come up for somebody that they're trying to build as a credible monster? Connor O'Brien. No. Go back to the drawing board and give this guy another name. I don't know, call him the One-Man Ascension if you want to do it that way. The One-Man Ascension Connor O'Brien. That works fine. I don't have a problem with that. But Connor O'Brien by himself, I'm imagining a babyface that weighs about $120 from the Independents, potentially. or maybe this guy in the Indies who is from one of those parody feds that likes to rip off like pop culture references, and this guy is basically Conan O'Brien with a different name. Yeah. And Conan O'Brien did decently on SmackDown, as did Sakamoto, and a couple other people you're going to see on the show tonight. So, not bad. Not bad at all. Sakamoto wins by DQ, apparently. So we see Renee Young, backstage with Sakamoto and Briley Pierce, and she asks them what they have to say about Conor O'Brien. Pierce says he made a mistake. Sakamoto rambles a bit, in Japanese, of course, which I don't understand a word of, and they leave together. So, we come back, and we get, gasp, another match. Camacho, who, of course, the last we've seen was basically the bodyguard of Unico on SmackDown, now is wrestling a singles matchup against Cassius Ohno, which everyone knows I'm a big Chris Hero fan. I'm a huge fan of the Kings of Wrestling. I really like to see them brought back. And what they did tonight on NXT, I absolutely love, but it's pushing it further away that will ever happen, because I don't see Antonio Cesaro's character going babyface. But basically, at this match, it seems like they're both heels. It was obviously the last time we saw Ohno in a ring. Oh my god, it was that brutal, brutal match with William Regal where they tried to break each other's fingers. It was just one of the stiffest matches I've seen in a long time. So, there's some mutual respect obviously there. But of course, Regal no-sells it on the commentary like he likes to do. So, basically we go midway through the match, and Ohno comes back with punches and strikes. He nails the running forearm in the corner and locks up for the roaring elbow, which is the KO. Locks in the Hangman's Clutch, which he is now calling the Cassius Clutch. And, of course, Camacho taps. Now, after the match, Ohno grabs the mic and says, I wasn't scheduled for mic time tonight, but I got something I got to get off my chest. And he looks at William Regal as a commentary with Tony Dawson, like he always is, and he basically says, Regal, I know you're not going to believe this 100%, but I'm sorry. So, as he's talking, you see Eric Rowan and... long day, sorry. I don't know why I'm forgetting his name without my hand. What the hell? Rowan. Luke Harper. Wow, good God. I'm sorry. Big Rig Brody Lee. Here you go. Sorry. So, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan come out, and they're coming out for their NXT Tag Team title match against the current champions, Adrian Neville and Bo Dallas. And from this moment forward, we are now going to be, on this channel, referring to Bo Dallas as the Redneck Rico Suave. Yeah. That's where we're going with this, folks. That's exactly where I'm going with this. So, after this, the Wyatt family walks out, and Ohno is about to leave, and Bray Wyatt shows up, and I immediately just get, extremely giddy by thinking, we're going to see Ohno against Bray Wyatt, and that's what we're building towards. I'm like, oh my god, this is going to be amazing. I'm probably going to get a 6th man on NXT to build this up, too, with the Wyatt family, all 3 members against Ohno, Neville, and Dallas, which I think I just blew the spot for the finish of the match, but I'm pretty sure you guys already know. This match was really good, by the way, but I'll talk about it in a second. So, Ohno stares at Bray Wyatt. They get the nice stare down, and then the family attack from behind, and they pretty much lay him out, and they back him up, and Bray Wyatt's like, no, and he helps Ohno up. Grabs him by the head, nails Sister Abigail on the outside, and just laughs. So, that was pretty awesome. And Ohno is amazing. He's going to be a WWE champion one of these days. I don't know if it's going to be WWE or World Champion, but I guarantee you he is going to be a serious singles talent in WWE very, very soon. Same with Bray Wyatt. Obviously, I am huge on everyone in this match except Bo Dallas because, I just don't get the big deal about Bo Dallas. I never have. I didn't like when they brought him up at the Royal Rumble. I don't like Bo Dallas. I mean, I have no problem with the Wyndhams. I have no problem with the Rotundos. I love Bray Wyatt. I wasn't a big fan of Husky Harris, but he was alright. But when he became Bray Wyatt, when he's doing this Cape Fear, this Waylon Mercy, this trust me, like Jake Roberts, trust me, I mean, it comes to mind immediately. And all these wrapped up into one. And Bray Wyatt is just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And I like the Wyatt family. I mean, I was a Brody Lee fan, and Eric Rowan is just a monster, and he just looks intense in every single way. To me, personally, when I look at Luke Harper, he looks to me like Asylum from the Flatliners mixed with a Necro Butcher. And yeah, that's pretty much the best way to describe him at this point. So we get this tag match, and this was actually pretty good. Very enjoyable match. I mean, it was enjoyable. It wasn't a great wrestling match, but it was a decent match for what it was. So, basically, where are we? So we go midway through the match, and Rowan nails a pump handle slam. He goes for it again. Bo Dallas reverses, nails the spear. 2 count, Rowan tosses Dallas and Adrian Neville, so Neville's out, gets knocked out on the barricade, runs him over with a huge big boot, tagging to Luke Harper. He nails Zandig's discus lariat, and 1, 2, 3. So, I enjoyed the match overall. I mean, it didn't set the world on fire, and it certainly wasn't as good as the 3-way tag match from last week's NXT, but I enjoyed it for what it was, and it got the tag team titles in the Wyatt family, and that's exactly what you have to do at this point. So I think what we're leading towards is Ono and Neville and Bo Dallas taking on the Wyatt family, and I don't have a single problem with that, because that means we're going to get Ono against Bray Wyatt somewhere very soon, and I am totally in that boat right now. Good NXT as usual. You have the tag team titles change hands. Ono becomes a babyface pretty much overnight. Biggie Langston is set to face off against Damian Sandow for the NXT title next week, so I'm looking forward to that. Paige continues to be awesome, and I like the feud with Summer Rae. It continues. We're going to see if Sakamoto and Briley Pierce are going to have something to say about Connor O'Brien, the one-man Ascension, interrupting their match and laying them to waste. I mean, this was a good NXT. It was. And not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. So that was NXT for this week, and very enjoyable. Now let's flip the script and let's go talk about SmackDown. Now SmackDown I watched a little bit ago, not that long ago, about 30 minutes. So we start the show off with a highlight reel. The Jeritron 5000 is back, unlike the horrid events of Miz, Jericho, and Brad Maddox that happened on Raw, that colossal rib on Brad Maddox, and that's not going to be the case tonight, because this is not about Jericho ridiculing the person that he's on the highlight reel with, like usual. No, he's actually here to prove a point. So, he's going to be facing off in the highlight reel, face-to-face, in a verbal conversation with Ryback. Okay, once again, I'll state this once more. Okay, first off, let's go back to Twitter, and actually, this was hilarious. I'm going to paraphrase here, because I don't know the exact wording, but it was really funny. It made me laugh. Ryback basically says that he had talked to the O'Doyle family, and the trademark went through, and he's allowed to use the term rules from now on. So the fact that me included and everyone else in the IWC have been saying that Ryback rules is basically just like O'Doyle rules from Billy Madison, I mean, now that's just a slap in everyone's face, and I thought it was brilliant from Ryback to do that. And obviously, I'm not going to put him over hugely, but he's getting there. He's getting there with me. He's being more of a heel. He's not, like, pumping up for the meat hook, and he's still doing the stupid stomping around the ring, but he didn't do enough of it tonight, so that was fine. His gear is not babyface-ish at all. He doesn't do the feed me more stuff, but I will say right now, another thing that's going to help him, other than a mouthpiece, and I still say John Laurinaitis needs to be his mouthpiece, I would definitely get rid of the stupid feed me more in his theme music. I mean, at this point, the hard rocking guitar beat and the drum, and it's just like, when it kicks in, he's not doing the wake up, all that crap anymore. So, he still says finish it, which, I mean, it's still a babyface thing, but I mean, we have to go, like, baby steps with Ryback, apparently, on his heel turn. I mean, hitting John Cena with a chair, that's fine. But then again, that pretty much makes him a babyface to 75% of the crowd that don't like John Cena and that are tired of John Cena being in the ring. And, I can understand that because obviously I'm tired of Cena being on top, even though the fact that we're building towards him. He's still the champion. He's not going to lose the title to Ryback at Extreme Rules. I don't see that happening next Sunday. Oh, yeah, by the way, sometime this week, we're going to be doing Extreme Rules predictions. Actually, I think I'm going to get Will in on that. So me and Will are going to do Extreme Rules predictions. That's my prediction, that I'm going to get Will to do predictions. Yeah, I know that's really a roundabout way to get to absolutely nothing. But he comes out, and we talk about the ending of Raw, where John Cena and Daniel Bryan try to fight off the Shield, and basically he powders to the back, does Ryback, and the Shield attacks, and they attack Daniel Bryan, and Kane's down, of course, from the shell-shocked earlier, and this gives Ryback the chance to bring the equalizer into the ring, and that being a steel chair. He nails John Cena with it, leaves him laying, and that works. So, basically, Jericho says, you know what, normally I mess with my guests, and I'm going to poke some fun at him, but this time, I totally understand where you're coming from. I understand how many times you've been screwed out of the WWE Championship. You need to do whatever you need to do to win the championship. Ryback tells Jericho basically not to patronize him, not to judge him, but Jericho says, I'm not judging you whatsoever, but the Jerichoholics and everyone in the WWE Universe are doing just that, and of course they boo him. And which is awesome, because back in the day you never would have thought Ryback was going to get booed, but it's working really well. I mean, the heel turn, like I said, it's progressing. I mean, it's not there yet, but it's progressing. So, Jericho says Ryback wins the championship by defeating a one-legged John Cena in a last man standing match. He's going to lose some respect of every single person in the building, every single person in the WWE Universe. Ryback and Jericho are about ready to fight. And here comes the Mac Militant himself. Peanut Head runs out. Teddy Long says, hold on, player, like he always does. And he says, I ain't going to roll like that. You guys want to fight it out? I'm going to let you guys in the main event tonight. So we're going to get Ryback against Chris Jericho for the first time tonight on SmackDown. That's fine. After this is done, we see Ryback. He balls up his fist, and unbeknownst to Jericho, he's doing so. When he turns around, he pie faces him, knocks him into the director's chair, and leaves Jericho laying. And then he walks out to a chorus of boos. Come back from break, and we get the jobber entrance for Cody Rhodes, which sucks, because Mustachio deserves a whole lot better than that. And here comes the United States champion. Kofi Kingston as his opponent, which, of course, is Alan's favorite wrestler. Now, I like this finishing sequence. It works really well. And Kofi gets whipped in the corner, and Cody charges at him. Kofi gets his foot up. He hits the double springboard crossbody. Rhodes rolls through and almost gets the 3. He gets up to his feet. He goes for crossroads. Kofi shoves him off, goes for the beautiful disaster, and he gets nailed in midair with the Trouble in Paradise and 1, 2, 3. So, it wasn't bad for what it was. I like the finishing sequence. The match was very short, way too short to mean anything, really. And it didn't really do anything for both competitors. So, business as usual for the beginning of SmackDown. Come back commercial break, and we clip over Brock and Paul Heyman invading the headquarters of WWE in Stamford, Connecticut on Monday Night Raw. I don't want to talk about that because we've already talked about it. So, we get to a backstage segment with the Dark Patriot, Jack Swagger, and Zeb Coulter. Backstage with Renee Young once again. Zeb calls her Reba. Says Jack Swagger served his statement on Monday by taking out all 4 guys. Now, he's going to serve another statement today by taking out Biggie Langston. We, the people. Alright. Come back, commercial break, and we're going to get Biggie Langston, the NXT champion. Of course, that is never mentioned. But, I mean, it's never mentioned, but he still has his NXT music. Obviously, he's a heel, even though I've got a perfect way to deal with that, but we'll talk about that in a minute. And, of course, we know about what happened to Dolph Ziggler during this match, and his concussion he got in this match, and it happened right here. It literally happened from the get-go. And I've got an idea for the World Heavyweight Championship, and you might call me crazy, and it's going to sound weird coming from me, but it's a way to go somewhere, and I'll talk about it in a minute. So, he comes out, he's doing the chalk, and he's like clapping the chalk together like he always does. Now, ADR is on commentary, of course, to put over the match at Extreme Rules, which may not happen at this point. Speaking of that, so we watch Swagger just like run over everyone with the ladder on Monday and stand tall. So right before the match starts, Del Rio tosses the ladder, and it's like, okay, you guys go for it. Go after it. So Biggie and Swagger have a tug of war over the ladder. Coulter with the distraction, and basically Swagger wins the chance of grabbing the ladder and shoves it back into Biggie, knocking him in the corner, rolling him to the outside. So basically Ziggler ends up drop kicking the ladder into Swagger's face. Now, what happened right here? What happened right the first thing is right at the beginning of the match, right before the bell. This happened before the bell rings. So they have the ladder in, and Swagger is jawing with Biggie, and they're pretty much jockeying with the ladder for position. And Langston ends up getting the bad end of the stick. Ziggler slides in, and right away, bam, Swagger kicks him right in the face. And that just starts it right there. Now, obviously, the ladder shots, and I mean the hard ladder shots at the beginning, at the end of the match on Raw Monday night, did not help his case whatsoever. And they pretty much started this, but that kick, that finished the job right there. And he even took, later in the match, he took the hard side kick from ADR, and I'm sure that did not make things any better at all. Well, Ziggler was out of it, and you could definitely tell because his motions were very slow, and not methodically so. They were deliberately slow. I mean, he could not control his body, and he still managed to drop kick the ladder into Swagger, and a baseball slide the ladder into Zeb Coulter on the outside. Del Rio gets in the ring, nails a few kicks, including that side kick to the side of the head, which I'm sure scrambled his brain just a bit. He takes the ladder, he launches the ladder into Swagger's face, puts the ladder back in the ring. The fans are chanting "C" as they always are. He sets the ladder up, climbs to the top, holds the title, and the crowd pops for it. So this is fine. Langston doesn't lose here, so he doesn't lose any steam, which is good. And everyone gets built up really well for the match. Now, the problem with this is, after this match was taped on Tuesday, spoiler alert if you guys didn't know already, and I talked about it last week, so you should know by now, SmackDown's taped on Tuesday, which we'll know as of October 8th, because that's a Tuesday night, and that's when Pop goes to SmackDown in Columbus. But we'll talk about that later. Now, basically, because of Swagger basically injuring Dolph Ziggler, we have a problem, because we have the world title match, the ladder match set up for Extreme Rules, which is a week from today. Now, there's a lot of directions you could go. You could have Langston defend the title for Dolph, and then literally defend the title for Dolph. So, if he wins, Dolph keeps the championship. If he loses, obviously Swagger or Del Rio get the title. You could do a number one contenders match, and even have Langston in the match. And you could have either anybody win. I would put Del Rio over in this case. Or you could go a completely different way. You have the three-way. Ziggler can't work because of his concussion. He cannot work. You have Langston win. Win the World Heavyweight Championship. When Ziggler's able to come back, he comes back and he's like, wait a minute. Okay, you won the title. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Now, you can just give me the belt now because it's mine, obviously. I never was pinned for it. I never was submitted. So give me it back. Langston says no. And this could start the rift that could lead to the Biggie Langston babyface turn that we are very slowly building towards. Now, I don't know if we're going to reveal that AJ and Biggie have had something going on all along and she's going to turn on Dolph and go with Biggie Langston, which in essence turns them both heel. It keeps them heel and turns Ziggler babyface, which is something they seem like they want to pull the trigger on, but they don't want to right now because they don't have credible babyface and heel demographic. Pretty much, they don't have a credible babyface to go after. No, I don't know. It's been a long day. Sorry. What I'm trying to say is this. If Ziggler is a heel, he's got a lot of babyface challengers. If Ziggler is a face, he doesn't have as many strong heel challengers. That's what I was trying to get to. So, sorry about that really roundabout way to get to absolutely nothing. So, basically, I mean, that's where you go in there, but that would turn Ziggler face, and I think that we do Dolph and AJ turn on Biggie Langston and beat him down for taking the championship, and then they have a feud, and of course AJ's torn in the middle, and then of course she reveals her true allegiance to Dolph Ziggler and low blows Biggie Langston, and ha ha ha, I turned my back on you, I wasn't your friend all along, and I just used you for things. Yeah. Well, I don't want to talk about that. So, because it's just a very interesting storyline we could go towards. I don't know exactly what creative is going to go with it, but it's a lot of decisions they can make. Like I said, put the title on Langston, and I mean, you take it off him immediately. Like literally, you take it off him on Raw or SmackDown. But I mean, put the title on Langston and have him defend the title for Dolph. I mean, you do it that way. Because I don't really want to see Ziggler's title reign end already, but if he's losing it because of a concussion, I understand, obviously he needs to be healthy. We're not as worried about Dolph Ziggler's title reign as we are about Nick Nemeth's health. So, if Nick Nemeth is fine, it's okay if Dolph Ziggler loses the championship, because you know he'll get it back when he's able to work again, and he'll have a very elongated title reign, which he deserves to have, obviously. So that being said, that was a no contest pretty much. Come back commercial break, and this is the match. Oh my god, I've been waiting forever for this. Daniel Bryan, Dean Ambrose. Oh my god. So this needed to happen like forever ago. I mean, I really wanted to see this match when they were pairing up Hell No and the Shield. And you know, given the fact that they've had so many awesome wars over the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship, I really want to see Seth Rollins against Daniel Bryan somewhere down the road too, because obviously Tyler Black and Bryan Danielson had great matches together. I'm pretty sure Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins would have amazing matches together, obviously because they're the same people, they're just different names now. So, dear God, this match is insane. And during this match, Daniel Bryan... Let me move here. Daniel Bryan gets a kick, or a knee strike, I really couldn't tell, and he opened up the underneath eye of Dean Ambrose, and his eye was almost swelling shut by the time the match was over. So, basically, the whole match, everybody's putting over Ambrose, and for those of you that believe that WWE is intent on pushing Roman Reigns as the breakout star of the group, you know, matches like this and the match against The Undertaker and the match against Kane, honestly, they're basically proving that Mox is going to be the breakout star of the Shield, straight up, and I have no problem with that because I'm a huge Jon Moxley fan and I'm a huge Dean Ambrose fan, and trust me, they're not exactly the same person, but I like what they're doing with him, honestly, I really do. And the fact that he went toe-to-toe with The Undertaker, I mean, he tapped out, but I mean, it's the freaking Undertaker, so it's not a bad thing for Ambrose to lose to The Undertaker. I mean, he pinned Kane relatively clean. And this match against Bryan, he had Bryan beat, but it didn't go that way, because obviously there was interesting interference. Very interesting interference, and I think it might be building towards something. So, basically, on Monday night, we had this very messed up, thrown together six-man tag with the Usos and Kofi Kingston against the Shield, and of course the Shield came out on top. Well, pretty much, Kofi ended up getting a lot of egg on his face at the time the match was over, and he wanted some revenge. So keep that in mind as we get to the finish here. So Ambrose picks up Daniel Bryan, nails some knee strikes to the head, and he goes for the short arm clothesline. Bryan goes for the no lock. He has it locked in. Well, he's getting ready to lock it in. Rollins tries to go for the save for the pinfall. The referee catches the distraction, allowing Roman Reigns to nail him from the other side to break up the hold. So, Ambrose picks up Daniel Bryan, locks in the side headlock, he's going to go for the Bulldog driver, and here comes Kofi down. and Kofi nails Ambrose. So, we are building towards the 6-man. It's going to be Kofi and Hell No against the Shield, and I don't have a problem with that, because I think what that also could do is we could end up doing Kofi against Ambrose for the U.S. title and put the U.S. title on Ambrose. And if the U.S. title is on Ambrose, that means that it's going to be Hell No against Rollins and Reigns, and they'll win the tag team titles. So the Shield would have 3 championships, and I don't have a problem with that. Then what you do is you bring in a 4th member of the Shield. And I'm telling you guys, it's a missed opportunity. The final member of the Shield, I mean, I like it to be Ono. I like it to be Cesaro, but they're going completely different with Cesaro, and I really like what they're doing with Cesaro because they're making it more like Claudio Castagnoli and a lot less like Mr. Yodelmeister, Antonio Cesaro. I think that Zack Ryder needs to be the 4th member of the Shield. I mentioned this a long time ago. I said if John Cena was behind the Shield, which I believe he was at one point, I don't think he would be now, but I mean, if Cena went heel, which everybody in the world wants him to go heel, but obviously it's not going to happen because he sells too much merch and the Make-A-Wish and all that stuff. I mean, Cena's a class act, and you can't really have a heel doing this stuff. But, basically, what we had was a good match. We're leading towards Rollins and Reigns against Hell No at Extreme Rules. It hasn't really been announced yet that I'm aware of, so you got to pull the trigger on it now, and I mean like right now. I might be wrong about that. I may have missed something, but I'm pretty sure it hasn't been announced for Extreme Rules yet. It needs to be. So Ambrose technically wins the match by DQ. It went 9.5 minutes. God knows how long it actually went on before they clipped it for commercial breaks and whatnot. So good match for what it was, and it went really well until the finish. And, it's building to the 6-man, and that's fine. And if that gets Ambrose the U.S. title, I'm completely fine with that, 100%. So, basically, we see Mark Henry pulling a tractor trailer that weighs about 60,000 pounds. But next, he's going to pull 2 tractor trailers, about 110,000 pounds. We come back commercial break. We see what happened on Raw Monday night when Mark Henry literally country whipped the daylights out of Sheamus, and you see footage of his chest and all the welts he had on his chest and back from the beating. And of course, surprising absolutely no one, we are getting a strap match at Extreme Rules between between Sheamus and Mark Henry. And I don't have a problem with that. The problem I have with this is they'll probably go normal C booking for a strap match with the heel touching all 4 corners at the same time that the babyface touches all 4 corners. And right before the 4th corner is to be touched, Sheamus with a giveaway, and he's going to brogue kick Mark Henry, and he'll either knock Henry into the 4th buckle or he'll hit the 4th buckle and win that way. So I think Mark Henry needs to decimate Sheamus because he has been booked like a joke in this feud. And I don't have a problem with that because I really want Mark Henry to be a lot bigger force in the world title picture, especially if they're taking the title off Dolph for his injury. I don't know if they will. I mean, Dolph could be fine by Sunday, but I don't know at this point, and there's no knowledge on the internet or anybody I know, so basically, we're going to say right now that that match, of course, is in extreme jeopardy for Extreme Rules, so basically, we're going to have Mark Henry. And Mark Henry is getting ready to pull 2 trucks. Here comes Matt Striker, sans mustache, darn you Cody Rhodes, with the interview. Striker says he's going to attempt to break a world record. Mark Henry says, attempt? And he's going to show us what he can do. So he's going to pull the tractor trailers like he's going to pull Sheamus around like a ragdoll at Extreme Rules. He tells Striker to get out of his way so he can make history. So he struggles, and Striker, of course, gets up in his face like, are you sure you can do this? Mark Henry's like, get out of my way. The trucks don't budge. Striker gets up again and says, you seem to be struggling. And Mark Henry gets agitated again. That's all the motivation he needs. He pulls both of them with an amazing visual. Oh my God. Falls to the ground from absolute exhaustion and makes it to his feet before exclaiming very breathily, that's what I do. So Basically, Sheamus has thrown a lot of cheap shots. He's taken the coward's way out a lot during this, and Mark Henry has just basically tried to be the badass, and it didn't work because he's being booked like the fool. So I really hope to see Sheamus get like mowed over in this match, and we lead to Mark Henry against John Cena somewhere down the road, which is a match I talked about doing the night after WrestleMania, which they teased it and they didn't go with it. So hopefully it'll happen sooner rather than later. Come back commercial break, and Renee Young is backstage with Randy Orton. Oh, goody gumdrops. Good to hear about the Orton Big Show feud I don't want to watch. So we see footage from Monday night when Big Show knocked out Randy Orton, and the camera, of course, didn't catch it, so they had to go back to another camera angle, and they saw the knockout punch. It was looked really ginger, to be totally honest, but I don't want to be punched with a Big Show, so I'm not going to knock his punching ability. So Orton says that his message to the Big Show is there will be no antidote for what he will do. Wasn't a good promo. Cheesy writing. Randy Orton just needs to kick people in the head and talk really menacingly like he does not care about anyone but himself, and even not himself at all. Something like that. Come back commercial break, and yay, we get the Big Show. Awesome. And he gets face off against his former tag team partner, Sweet Tea. Yay. Tensai and the Big Show. Well, right away we see a lot more Giant Bernard as he goes toe-to-toe and starts pounding the daylights of the Big Show. He pretty much just knocks him off his game from the get-go, and he's just punching away. He's completely on top. He hits a big splash in the corner, and he's going for the hanging tree slam, the Baldo bomb, whatever you want to call it, and he gets shoved off, and bam, knockout. He gets Chris Tuckered. And that was the end of it. So Brodus Clay gets in the ring, and he's trying to check out the well-being of Sweet Tea after getting cold-cocked by the Big Show. And basically, they end up fighting for a second. Big Show harpoons Brodus Clay. He locks up for the KO punch, and he does his little toot-toot like he always does, like he's getting ready to go. And Orton slides in the ring, unbeknownst to him, like the snake he is, and nails the RKO. So, not bad. If you're going to push this angle, you might as well do something with it. So backstage, we get an altercation between the former Chickbusters, and AJ calls Caitlyn man-arms. She asks who's texting Caitlyn. He's like, oh, is it your mom? I miss Suzanne. I missed her so much. And she's like, no, it's my secret admirer. And basically she says, I don't really know who you are. I don't know why you would have a secret admirer. But Caitlyn chimes in and is like, well, maybe it's Dolph. And AJ says, you know a woman shouldn't be able to bench more than her man can. Caitlyn says she has the body of a 12-year-old boy, which is wrong in every sense of the word. Natty walks on the scene and asks if there's a problem. AJ says, later, gentlemen, and bombs out. So Natty and Caitlyn discuss who could be behind the text, which is fine. Here comes the great Khali. Oh my god, get him off my television, please. Wearing Rey Mysterio's mask, saying Booyaka Booyaka 619 over and over again. Caitlyn says that's super sweet, but you don't need to wear a mask when you're undercover. Now he turns to tell Khali he doesn't need to look like Cody Rhodes either, and he has a fake mustache on. Oh my god, it's absolutely terrible. I hate Khali. I do. I hate this stupid stuff. Get him off my television. Get Natty to actually wrestle again on something that's not Saturday Morning Slam or Superstars, because this is just a waste of her so much. But she's getting paid, and she's on television, so I guess that's all that matters. And I'm glad she's still making a living at WWE. Even though I'd much rather see her wrestle than jawing with the great Khali. I do like this. We're still building towards AJ and Caitlyn for the Divas Championship, and I'm pretty sure it's going to happen very soon. It's not happening Extreme Rules. Maybe it'll happen at Payback, potentially. Or maybe Raw. I'm not sure, but sooner rather than later. So we get to our main event. And Chris Jericho against Ryback. So this match is pretty good, actually, for what it was. It was decent. I mean, it wasn't terrible. So Jericho gets cornered and Jericho drop kicks him in the knees, takes Ryback down, goes for the walls. Ryback fights off, nails the meat hook, and locks up Shell Shock. Jericho rolls out into the sunset flip and locks in the walls, turns him around, and Ryback gets the ropes just in the nick of time. So Jericho comes off the ropes, hits the code breaker. Ryback gets knocked to the outside where he can't be pinned. Of course, he's sprawled out on the floor. Jericho follows him outside. Ryback throws him into the barricade. He lifts Jericho up, and he crotches him against the ring post right in front of Scott Armstrong, and Armstrong calls for the bell. So DQ right there. Don't understand what the finish was about. It makes no sense. Jericho wins in about 7:20 by disqualification. I hated the finish. Doesn't make any sense. I've seen nut shots in front of the referee before that weren't disqualifications. This makes no sense at all. Solid wrestling on SmackDown tonight. Really solid wrestling on NXT. So, storyline advancement, absolutely incredible. So, it was decent. It was decent for what it was. SmackDown tonight, basically, we see Kofi and Hell No are on a closing course with the Shield. Cody is still can't find his way to a victory at this point. We continue the build to Extreme Rules with Swagger and Del Rio bringing the pain tonight. And Dolph Ziggler is kind of left in limbo because we don't know what's going to happen with his concussion. B. Langston looks a lot better, and we build towards him being a babyface eventually. I want to see a whole lot more Daniel Bryan against the Shield, except for Reigns. I mean, I think Bryan could carry a good match out of Reigns. He got a good match out of Ryback last week, so, I mean, that match was awesome. And Big Show pretty much cold cocks Tongues of Funk and knocks them out, gets them completely finished. And Randy Orton and Big Show, of course, they're still feuding. They're going to face off at Extreme Rules. Goody gumdrops. And, I mean, if the match was going to end this way, I mean, I think Fandango should have came in to build up their match on Monday and, like, hit the side kick to Jericho's head, and that's how Ryback won. And then Fandango needs to run away because Ryback doesn't need to shell shock him, because that would be a bad idea right now. I don't know, to get him a bigger babyface reaction. But anyway, storyline advancement was really good tonight, and that was the end. So next week, we'll talk more NXT and SmackDown. Monday, actually, we were going to be talking about Celebrity Apprentice, and the second to last episode, which is the beginning of the final task, which is going to be to pick the brand new Walgreens Delish ice cream flavor for an ice cream social. The two finalists will battle it out, which all signs point to being Penn and Trace, like I said before, and I've said all along. So, as we're building to Tuesday, we're going to talk Raw, and like I said, Wednesday and Thursday, I'll find out what we're going to do with that. Wednesday, like I said, we're going to be at B-Dubs. Tuesday, we'll be at B-Dubs. Thursday night, we're watching Star Trek, so I don't know if we're doing AJ's movie review on Thursday night, or if we're just going to wait till Friday, because we don't have any movies to watch this week, because nothing's coming out wide. But you're going to get 4 movie reviews from AJ this week, and a lot of Will. So we're going to be doing a Will tutorial and filming that, and Mr. Flashback will grace us with his presence, as well as a couple other things. And who knows, maybe Will and I are going to be talking Raw or Extreme Rules, or both. Who knows? We'll find out later. So, happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there, and enjoy your day. You definitely deserve it. And once again, if you like these videos, thumbs them up. You can leave comments. You could subscribe. We have 28 subscribers now and 5,500 hits. I'm looking to hit the big 10,000 before this year is over. And you know what? I think it's going to happen. So more pop content still to come in the near future. Looking for new popcasters. And if you guys want to contribute to the Podcaster Revolution, you're more than welcome to send your smartphone videos to SuroandDisney@gmail.com. If I had annotations like AJ wants me to have so dearly, it would say right now, SuroandDisney@gmail.com. But right now, you just have my hand going across the screen. So, that's going to be the end of this. And thank you guys for watching. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that.